everyone, welcome to Money Matters. My name is Madhura and I'm your host for Money Matters. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys are watching, do drop a hello in the comments. I would like to know who is watching and why are you here. Do you guys know our guest speakers for today, or are you a regular Money Matters viewer? Just drop it in the comments, say hello, and let's get started for today's session. So, brief intro for anybody who's new here. This is Money Matters, a live stream show that we do every Sundays at 3 p.m. So it is a show where we want to increase the awareness in different areas of money, and we want to inspire people to take charge of certain areas of their money or come out of the money problems that they have, and at the same time also empower you guys with the right tools. So I feel like the best way to learn about money is not only learning the theoretical, like how to budget and all those stuff. Yes, that's fun, but the best learning actually comes from when we learn from other people's experiences. So I'm super duper excited for today's session because we are going to learn from somebody's experience, which is so mind-boggling that I had to take 1 hour break after talking to them to really understand what they said. So it's going to be an amazing session. If you guys are there, like I said, all right, you guys are saying hello. Very excited for today's session. One huge favor that you guys can do is to help share this stream on your social media so that we can reach out to the people who need this. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are stuck in the vicious cycle of money problems. They are constantly going into debts, or they're constantly somehow ending up in a wrong investment. There's a lot of us who do have this cycle happening in our lives, and we actually want to come out of it. So this session is to show you guys how you can come out of it, how you can step out of it from the very personal experiences of our guest speakers. So if you're watching, once again, share this link out so that we can reach out to the people who really need this. So, oh my God, this is amazing. I can see a lot of hellos in the comment. Thank you so much, guys. I see Vinisha, I see Komla, Devpriya, Lagendran, Darini, Hoiting. Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I think before we get started with today's session, I actually would like to show a quote that kind of connected to me when I was thinking about this topic. So it says, "History repeats itself, but in such a cunning disguise that we detect the resemblance until we do not detect the resemblance until the damage is done." So a lot of times we actually have that cycle of doing the same things. We have seen our grandparents do it or parents do it, and then we end up making the same mistakes in money, and we don't realize that that has happened until the damage is done and we are at the other end, and then we look back and realize, oh my God, it's the same thing all over again. I've made the same mistake all over again. So today's session will be going into that area of how we keep going into that cycle and how we can eventually step out of it. So if you have any questions for our guest speakers, feel free to jump in at any point in time and ask them. So if you guys don't know already, our guest speakers are Pierre and Kalei from Precious 30 Days. I think both of them are amazing. Not only are they great entrepreneurs who have set up this beautiful company that helps a lot of mothers and children through their work, but I think they are great individuals as well. They're great parents. They have two wonderful kids, and just the joy to hang out with them whenever I talk to them. It's so much of fun. They're so funny. It's really fun to hang out with them, and I think if you're watching today, you will definitely have fun as well, because they just generally have so much to share and help people with. All right, so without further ado, let me welcome Kale and Pierre on screen. Hi guys.
Hi,
Hi,
Madhura.
All
How
right.
are
How are you?
you?
I'm good. I'm
good,
good.
good.
How are you?
Same here.
Okay,
We are
that's
good.
good. Okay. So we're gonna usually I do things a bit differently. We'll ask like some icebreaker question. I don't know if I should go there, but I thought I can maybe ask one question before we actually go into the our topic for today. So
Like what?
one of the one my favorite question to ask is this: what is your most important principle in money, basically? One rule or principle that you hold on to very closely and always apply in your life.
Principle to money. One principle that I previously what I had is I earn, I spend. That was my principle last time.
Okay.
But nowadays my principle is I earn, I spend little, I save more.
Okay. Okay, that's a nice principle to have. I like it. A lot of us do have that principle: earn and spend. Correct. Kali, how about you?
to be very truthful, I'm quite, like I'm very good at doing a lot of things and earning, but the spending part, I'm a bit weak because when I was like before married, my mom used to buy a lot of stuff for me. Then, like when I got married, it's that my husband who does most of my shoppings, and I'm not very shopping person.
Yep.
But in principle, if you're speaking about principle of money, for me, is like I have a certain amount that which make me comfortable. I don't spend, but I have to have this certain amount of money with me all the time.
Mm.
So if it's there, then I'll be very okay on top here. So to maintain that amount, I'll just like go on, like make sure that I maintain lah, to make sure that I'm okay at any other areas, not only in finance.
Okay, okay. I know a lot of people do have that limit, or like I must have this certain amount to be okay. And I think it's very important we just accept that is our way of doing things, and not fight that. Just make sure we have the amount so that we don't need to worry so much about anything else.
Yes, yes.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so we're gonna get into the topic. This topic and how we're gonna start this conversation is not gonna make sense for any of you who are watching, but hang on, guys. You'll understand what we are trying to say as we come to the end of the session. So, I would like the topic is about going into vicious cycle of money and how do you come out of it and whatnot. But I personally would like to know what was your childhood experience like in term, especially in terms of money. How was your perception towards money and all of that when you were kids? Who would
Okay,
like to go first?
I would like, I ask the lady to go first. Ladies first.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so my childhood was like, okay, my parents are actually a business people, entrepreneur as well. My father, he was into many businesses. So name it, we have been in like food business, and then like grocery shop, many other things. I always witness seeing them venturing into many business. So that part of it, like you always feel like your parents are very hardworking and things like that. But I also witness something like whenever they have money, a good number of saving and things like that, they always invest. The investment always go wrong.
Mm,
They'll get like many investors will approach, and most of the time it go very wrong lah. So
mm,
my childhood is like this. So when the saving goes wrong, and then what they will do is when the investment goes wrong, and then they'll start up something again. That was the cycle that I was like witnessing from my childhood. So from my parents, it's that very hardworking people, but it's like the circle repeats every time. There's something will come up and they'll get attracted, very wrong investment will go on, and then they'll repeat again from zero. So that was like my childhood was lump. So witnessing like my parents and things like, so basically the hardworking part is always there. Love for business is always there because we grew up watching that. My father was working for some time only. He was working
yeah.
from young, but when we were like already like probably when I was like 13, he stopped working. In a day, he resigned and he just decided, and the next day he was not working. So he was doing small business before that, and then suddenly he ventured into something big. So my childhood is that witnessing him being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like very high quality education or what, was like only his primary level, but seeing him being very successful in whatever business that he's doing give me like confident, like okay, we can do it now. Whatever it is, if you have hard work, then you'll definitely succeed in things
Yep.
like that. So that was
Yep.
my child.
Okay, okay. So it is a business background and hardworking and all of that,
Yes.
but also there was that tendency to still go get into some kind of trouble every now and then. Okay, perfect. Pierre, how was your
Okay,
childhood
okay.
experience?
My childhood was like I was born from a very successful family background. Actually, very
Yep.
I don't want to say the word rich lah. I mean well-to-do family, yeah. Very well-to-do family. My yeah. Probably you can put a disclaimer later. So my dad was a guy that he does business. He was on the engineering background.
Okay.
He had a few companies, and he was very very successful in when I was young and everything. And he's a a very good motivator, but he don't speak much. But he does things when you ask him, like, okay, he will show you the in action, and he will prove it to you that it can be done and things like that lah. So that is how when I was growing up and things like that. And in 1986 there was a recession. There was my dad was badly hit in the recession, so the business has closed down and things like that. But what happened was he automatically switched himself. That means from being a businessman who flies around the world, go everywhere, this, that, suddenly the next day he said, we're going to sell nasi lemak. I got, what? Sell nasi lemak? And selling nasi lemak in front of my house. My house is a bungalow house in PJ. We stay in a massive bungalow in PJ.
Nasi lemak is lifesaver for many people.
So what happened was, he said the next day, because my mom is an extraordinary cook. She cooks very well.
Yep.
So he told me the next day, he said, okay, tomorrow we're going to start selling nasi lemak. I said, wow, yeah, really? Are you for real? Said, yeah, yes. And you're going to do it. I was like, even shocked. I'm going to do it. So my mom will prepare nasi lemak and things like that, and then we'll be selling nasi lemak in front of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, right in front of the bungalow, we will start to sell nasi lemak. So that is how his business grew. And we were doing that for about a month. And then after a month, he told me, now you stop doing, it's okay, you can go back and do whatever thing. I said, why? I asked him why. He told me, the business has already grown. Now the money will make money for you. I personally don't understand when he talk things like that, in that kind of terms. Then one day, sitting on talking to him, then he told me, this is how you grow the business. So what he did was he started giving samples to shops around PGA area, the restaurants and things like that. So they started ordering in. So then he said, so when we can supply to shops, why we need to sell? So we just go on supplying only. So from 50 a day became 100, became 1,000. We start supplying 1,000 nasi lemak a day, packed one, packed nasi lemak. We just supply everywhere. So that is how my childhood was, because my dad is the guy, he'll automatically switch. I mean, this one cannot, okay, now switch. This one cannot, okay, now switch. So he's like that. And then while doing that, what happened was, my mom felt a bit ill, because preparing the nasi lemak very early in the morning, and then you just imagine 1,000 nasi lemak, 1,000 pack a day. What happened is she got ill. So when she got ill and things like that, so my father had to stop and he had to go back to work. So he automatically switched again from a businessman and then selling nasi lemak, and then he had to go back as an employer back again. So he will automatically switch. That is how my childhood was.
Okay, wow. So it's more on he's able to adapt to whatever that comes his way and just quickly build something there. I think a lot during this COVID-19 pandemic, we actually saw a lot of people who have that ability actually come out of. So it's like their businesses are completely shut down, but they still come out with something and quickly switch and start working on that so that they can survive. I think your father has that same entrepreneurial spirit in a way. Very nice, very nice. So that is basically your what you guys saw when you were young and all of that. How did that kind of like affect you or influence you as you grew up? What did you do that kind of like reflected what you learned from your parents when you were younger? So is there anything you learned from them that until now you still do and you still replicate based on what your parents
like on my part, I would say that the switching, because I used to be I used to work. I started working when I was 14 years old, because once we shifted to Shah Alam.
Mm-hmm.
We left the house there. We shifted to Shah Alam. We bought a house in Shah Alam. My dad bought a house in Shah Alam, and then we started. My dad started working in a factory.
Okay.
But on a higher position, he was in a good position in the factory, but he could not adopt that. The situation here. He was like kind of very down. He was very down really, because he was a man. He used to be very free. That means you cannot hold him in one place. You cannot hold him for 8 hours. That means when you work in a factory or you work in a company, you have to work from 8 to 12 hours a day, which I think killed him slow by slow. He was like he was not very happy doing it. So for me, what happened was, after he fell ill, when I was 14, he had a stroke. He had a major stroke, and then he was bedridden for 2 years. When I was 16, he passed away. So on the age of 14, I started working. At the age of 14. I started doing home chores, all kinds of odd jobs.
Yep.
And my very first job was a bus conductor.
Amazing. What? Okay.
So that was how my come
No,
again.
no, I'm just pointing it out. Continue, continue.
Okay, so that was how my childhood was started,
Yes.
and when there was a lot of difficulties, like we went through a lot of difficulties and things like that. So I used to like do 4 to 5 works in a day. That means small jobs. Like I used to be a bus conductor. A bus
Mm-hmm.
conductor means not the mini bus or the Sri Jaya bus, all those bus. Those days I
Yeah.
see there's a bus called Sri Jaya. So not that kind of bus. It's like a school bus where they do private sapu from ITM students to the hostel, from ITM to the hostel. So you have to board the bus and collect the coins from all those students. It's
Yep.
like 30 cents per students per trip. So
Yep.
my job is to just collect and then I'll put it into the bag and give it to the driver. Once he stops the bus, I'll go to the nearer shop, what do you call that, laundry shop, and
Okay.
I'll start helping them doing work there. I'll start working there. So after I finish that, I have to go back to the bus again because the bus has to leave back to ITM. So whenever the bus leaves, so I don't waste my time sitting in the bus.
Yeah.
So where the bus parks, I'll go and find something to do around that. So after that, what I'll do is, by the time all of this finish, will be around 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, I'll just take a slow walk and I'll come in front of my house just right before reaching my house. There's a row of shops,
Yep.
restaurants, Garai, Waro. I'll wash plates there. I'll just wash plates and everything, and then only I'll go back home.
Okay. Okay.
That was how, challenging my life was, my childhood.
For that part of it, I think as a reward, somebody has acknowledged you as Rajnikant. So
Wow, yeah.
so I like that. So it's you also, even though you were young, you kind of had to quickly switch and become the kind of person who actually goes out there and earns and finds a way to survive, just like how your father used to do back then, when he
Correct.
was going through those challenges as well. Okay, okay. So I think that is something that you do carry on until now, based on what I personally see as well. It is until now you have that ability to kind of like switch, and also like one of the things you mentioned earlier, like how he expanded that business. Not a lot of people like will open the nasi lemak stall and they'll just forever remain a nasi lemak stall and never do
Yes.
anything more. But I think you are one of those people I know who actually can grow these things. So I think that is also from your father in a way. So if you guys are watching, I would like to know what are some of the things you guys learn from your parents or indirectly learn from your parents, because a lot of things we didn't realize we're learning until now that we look back, then we see, oh, I got this from my mom or my dad. So if you guys are watching, let us know as well. um Kale, how about you? What was some of the things that your parents do that you notice you also have that with you?
One thing I will say, of course, the hard work, and then most of the time, the conversation in our house will be like, even they face a lot of challenges. My father, especially, was not like that man who like worried about things. He will like always like motivate us to. He will be like keep saying that it's okay, we can do this. We just have to focus on our work. We will, just believe that we can do this. That kind of thing. So what? It doesn't happen tomorrow. I'll try out something, that keep trying thing is there always. He's already like 69, and then his reading attitude, I have that, his reading attitude in me. He reads like every day, every night before he sleeps till today, and then he will also, whenever I visit him, he'll be like sharing what he reads and things like that. So he'll be like, this book is very good. I'm reading now. It's very inspiring to see, like, because he's not very highly educated. He was just like Tamil school standard 3. He hardly can spell Tamil also till today, but he never give up.
Yep.
He only know how to write his name in English or Malay. Other than that, he doesn't really know how to spell a thing. But
Yep.
Tamil, yes, he's still reading his Tamil books, all that kind of motivation book. You name it, he has it with him, and that are the thing that I feel it's from my dad, and of course the business mind. Not worried about anything, but sometimes I don't think I 100% have it. Sometimes I also go blabber, but I've never seen him once like he panic.
Yeah.
So what? Tomorrow I don't have this. So what? I still have the energy to go and do things. He's that type of person. So
Yep.
I think that is in me. Like really helps me with whatever I'm doing now.
Do you did you also have that persistent thing, right? What were some of those points in your life where you were also very persistent and just like your dad made sure it happened?
Yeah, very hard-headed person, very stubborn things that I want. I can relate this like when I was young, when I wanted to become a doctor, and then
Yep.
I finished my SPM when when it was 1997. That's the year my SPM is. That is the year that recession came. So before that, my parents are in a real estate business. So they were doing really well. 97 really hit them hard, and then they had lost a lot of their finance savings and things like that. Business was not good. They had to close down their office and things like that. And so they went into, this is what I was saying, that you get attracted to other things. They went into like MLM, which didn't really turn up like what they expected. So the
Yep.
finance part of the house really shaken. So I'm the eldest in the family. So um, I was very stubborn when my father was actually asking me to join him and also do the business and things like that due to
Yeah.
his finance thing. Lah. But I was very stubborn. I told them no, and then I went and try out for my STPM. I went for my low seats. I dragged him together with me to go and apply. He was sitting there. He was like trying to convince me as much as possible. I was like not in that like, listening thing. And then I got my books done myself. I took my saving and paid the fees. And I arranged my transport. The school was very far, extremely far from my place.
Yeah.
Somehow I find a friend who can drive me there and this kind of thing. And also later on, I started my career as a home tutor. And I was home tutoring for 20 years. Uh, Before it was like 1 year, I was still doing postnatal and home tutoring, lah, the very
Mm.
last. So it's 20 years of home tutoring. But here, Pierre used to tell me every year to stop. I will be like, okay, I will stop. Okay, every year December come when December comes, then I will say like, okay, okay, I will stop. But then January I will be I'll be doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
so so sometimes I if I think that I want, I will not listen to anybody. I will just do it. I don't care what people around me say, things like that. Mm.
Okay. Very nice. Very, very nice. I'm so mind blown by how we all emulate our parents so much. Since our topic is this, right, about the vicious cycle of going into money problems, what were some of the problems that you guys kept going into in terms
Okay,
of
like on my side, because I manage the finances here in even the business and also the family and things like that. So the cycle which I went through, you see, after I started working when I was very young and things like that, my main motive was to put food on the table for my parent, my mom and my two siblings. That was my main motive. But
yeah.
not knowing that I have the businessman blood, not knowing that then. So what happened was once I started doing some electrical works here and there and stuff like that. So one of my uncle he introduced me to his friend. Then I started doing this electrical thing. For a year, I was working with him. After that, he asked me. He wants to work with me because I started taking projects everywhere already. Because
Yeah.
it was the other way around already. So he told me, okay, I won't work. I'll just get the project and I'll give it to you as sub. You get the workers and you do it yourself. So I'll be like working have some project in JB. I'll have some project in Kedah. So I'll
Yep.
be just running up and down, up and down. I'll just send the workers there, monitor here, monitor there. So basically, I was doing that for about a few years until I was 20, if I'm not mistaken. I was just doing that. Then but I had a lot of savings. I already
Mm.
created savings. I mean, I already started buying my own vehicles, and I had my own apartment when I was 20. I already bought my first apartment when I was 20 years old,
Oh.
and things like that. So I already planned everything. Everything was going on fine, but until one day somebody asked me, where is your savings? I said, yeah, I have savings. I just whatever payment I get, I put somewhere. He said, not like that. You need to have something called EPF. That's when I know, oh, you have something called EPF. Oh, it's a employee provident fund. So okay. So how do I do that? He said because you're running your own company, so you either have to apply. Those days, if I'm not mistaken, it's quite difficult for you to apply EPF if you are single. I mean, you're working alone, things like that. It's not as easy as nowadays. Nowadays,
Yep.
even you are a single mother, also you can go. You are a housewife, also you can apply. Those days, you don't have that kind of thing. So what happened is, okay. So what I got approached by a few developers, and I was called into a company to work as a project manager. So that I started my life cycle. But what going back to your question was, the mistakes that I did with the cash was always on investment, bad investment, wrong investment, bad investment. So I used to, like, okay, when I have an amount of cash, let's say about 10,000 or 20,000, what I'll do is I won't keep quiet. I will go and find for investor. I will go and find, okay, if I go and invest this money somewhere, probably I can get a bit extra instead of just keeping in the bank or keeping in the FD. You see, when you keep in the FD, let's say 10,000 ringgit, your 3% per annum or things like that.
Yeah.
So my mind will be thinking, if I can get 10% per year, then it'll be better, right? So I will go and find for this. But this one is something they call finding your own, digging own grave. So, so I would do all this nonsense. A lot, not this one. This one is just a small one. I'll come for the bigger one later. So, and then somehow or other, without me finding, they will find me because the sub will connect what? Your
Yep.
sub wants that what? So
You
the sub will
attract.
connect, you are attracting what? The habitual
Yep.
pattern. So they will come and look for me, and then I will end up investing. And
Okay.
probably the first month or the second month, they will give me. So I'll be thinking, okay, good return. So I would invest even more.
Ah.
The fourth month, the man will never come back. Phone also tak dapat, tidak dapat dihubungi.
That is so true. Oh my god. Okay.
That
Okay.
is actually the habitual pattern. Which after that I will like, okay, no, never mind. Lucky I only invested about 50,000. So the money is gone and things like that. So I'll start up saving and do things. But after I save, when I get back the money, the same man or somebody else with the same vision will come back to me and tell me, "Oh, I have this project. If you just invest in 2 years time, you can be a multi-millionaire." So I'll be like the BMW going, the Mercedes, the bungalow, all will be like flying. Like Indian song. One song you can be
Yeah.
rich,
Yeah. One
something
song.
like that. Just one song, I'll be rich. Okay, okay. I just invest. Next year, I'm a millionaire. But that one actually never happened.
But
Until
I think it's like somehow like both our parents, they have the similarity. They were like doing well, and then somehow it ended up with wrong investment, recession. You hit down, and then you try to build back. Somehow both of us, we have our parents are in that kind of same pattern. So I think we also, if it's not for him, somehow it's my habit patterns attract a lot of things, similar incidents, it seems like.
Okay. Okay.
and my last investment was 150,000 investment. After that, I have no money invested.
Hearing the number itself hurts. I don't know how it actually hurts for you. Yeah, I think a lot of people do have that thing, right? They oh, it'd be nice if I can go for the 10%, and that's how they usually end up in a
Yes.
lot more trouble. Because you haven't even learned how to manage your 3-4%, but you want the higher one already. Other than going into this wrong investments in a way, what were the other habits or things like that that you kept making mistakes on or repeatedly was getting into trouble into?
I
Any?
think I can't think of anything else. Probably that creativity, like you simply create something new before one thing settle. Yeah, that kind of thing. But that mostly for me, that the thing that I think it's impacted me most is that investment. When you have that money, you don't really know how to manage, and I like to invest to make it double. This I saw in my parents, and wrong. It's mostly ended up in a very wrong. It ended up with a very wrong results. And I think before I was aware, luckily I think I don't spend so much, so I'm happy. I'm the person who, like, I earn, I keep, and things like that.
Yep.
And then believing in people, one thing I will say, like, my father is the person who, like, he believes in, like, creating team, and then like building based on people's thing. When he was doing his real estate business, so he had a few people with him as a team. It naturally comes like that. He had like few partners and things like that, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, so that part, I think I also have it like without me realizing, somehow I have given the opportunity before I run any like big time postnatal classes and things like that. Whenever people, like when I was doing the business alone, whenever people approach me with, okay, I also want to do this thing,
Mm.
I had like a few of my team before the business even grew big. So already have a few of them. I share the opportunity, and then it somehow naturally becomes a team of few ladies running this business and things like that.
Yes.
So that part, I think definitely that is also from my father, like networking, probably the networking part. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Do you, okay, one of the vicious cycles that I feel a lot of people do go into is that debt cycle, because
Yeah.
it's a cycle that a lot of people don't think is a bad thing. They are like, this is normal, this is the way to live, which is to be in debt. That is how a lot of people have accepted it. So were you one of those people who was, debt is the way of life, this is how things are done? Were you somebody like that? Do you still have that belief, if you did?
Definitely. That doesn't leave anyone alone. You see, my like myself, I yes, we were like that. Okay, coming back to your question again. Okay, you see, when I did my investment, that the
Yeah.
last investment, very wrong one, lah. So what happened was we lost everything, and then I was not doing well in my work and things like that. So we had two properties at that point. At that point of time, we had two properties, and we had no choice but to let go one property. It was not sold; it was gone auction. It was gone on auction. One of our property in Shala was gone on auction, and both my properties were on the auction on the same day. That means I have to like pump in 30,000 for one house, another 30,000 for the other house in
Wow.
the same day. It's going for auction in the same day. I don't know how it is coincidence. And I was in the hospital, and suddenly my wife called and told me, you know something, our house is going on auction. Yay, like that. so
Okay.
what I did was actually I'm a kind of guy that I don't panic on finance lah. I mean I'm a very cool guy. I think I got that from my dad also lah. My dad, so I say I can switch it automatically. Okay, this one cannot. The next course of action is okay. Let's just we go out for one house, we save the other one. So immediately we had to like take, but definitely we don't have the amount to pay. So we had to
Mm.
go and ask for debt lah. I mean
Borrow money.
borrow money from friends and families, some of them, and then we had to like settle the debt that we had for the house. And but anyway, debt is a debt, so you need to pay it back.
Yep.
But our business was just starting to grow. It was starting
Yep.
to grow in 2017 and December. My wife told me, "Why don't you join in?" You see, like I was working as a project manager. This is how I switch. I tell you, huh? And then probably a business, everything I was doing, and then I was
Okay.
doing my own business at the same time being a project manager. Now I'm a
Okay.
cook.
Okay.
So you see how I switch. Yeah,
More like going everywhere.
everywhere.
Okay.
So okay, you want me to be a cook? Okay, I'll be a cook. That's it.
Uh,
It's just like switching lah. So she told me, why don't you join? Okay, you can cook well, because I started cooking when my daughter was born and things like that. So okay, I will start cooking. Then she said, okay, why don't you take care of the business? I mean, like you always go and grow other people's business. Why don't we grow our business? So I said, okay, let's try. So what happened was that's the time I joined, 2018. I joined, and I met these two wonderful souls, I would say, Elongo Tiago and also Varsala, who I think our mentors as well.
yeah.
So they actually they played a major role in our lives lah. Actually, very very major role in our lives. So I was in debt, and the purpose I came to meet Mr. Elongo was for him to invest in my business, because I already started to grow the business. I already started to grow the business slowly, slowly. I already, when she was talking to me, my mind was already okay. This side, okay, I'm going to do this. I already planning the business already. She was
Yeah.
talking to me emotion. She was telling me, emotionally, she was telling me, why don't you come and join the business? And she was telling myself, my programming going here, everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna do everything, but you need money. You
Uh,
need investment to pump in the money, and then you need to grow big and things like that. So I told her, why don't you like, okay, you show me a certain amount of money that you can earn from this business, then probably I'll come in. But
okay.
she, as what she said, she's very keras kepala. So what she did, okay, she bamboo the whole thing 1 month. Okay, she showed me that amount. Okay, this is the amount you wanted. Okay, I already got the amount. So now tell me what
Okay.
you're gonna do. So I already planned. But when she was doing that, I already planned ahead. Okay, what to do next and everything. but I need
Okay.
investment. That is when I was introduced to Mr. Elango, a very nice gentleman. So we talking to him. We will not talk anything. He only will talk. So called, we'll go and meet him to ask for investment. End of the day, we'll never ask him anything and we'll come back. Because we'll be so mesmerized listening to whatever he's talking.
But actually, when we meet him, right, we will be like, we already have like bigger plan, like, like you not just settles a lot of things, but you already have like so many things, So
Mm, mm.
whenever we meet him, the first day I remember I was telling him that I want to find an investor. I want to open a YouTube channel. So many things, I already have a long list. And
Uh,
then when he started talking, he was not giving like 1% of interest or whatever I was like telling him. He was talking more about me and him, our relationship and children and all that. On our way back, like we were like, do we really get what we want to pass the message? Why he was not even showing the interest of what. Then we thought, okay, probably this is the first time. Then every time the same thing happened, and slowly, slowly we like, okay, we give up, lah. We just like give up on the thing. Okay,
yeah.
but he made us see that actually, you don't really need an investor to invest on your business. You can become an investor once you solve your own problem.
Mm,
Yes, that is what he
So
did.
yeah, that's what he did, and we like, but at the time he knows that we are like so like we are not listening to him, being a very hard-headed person, right? So he was like, he told me like, okay, I have few friends want to invest in this business. He literally told me that I have a few friends who want to invest in your business, but they are looking for this kind of amount like return. People don't simply invest on small companies and things like that. So he was like, can you all settle these all and then make the, your bank balance this much or not? So, like, about us, like we like, okay, this is what you want. Okay, I'll show that and I will work for it and show. So
uh-huh.
finally, then I asked him, okay, what to do? Then he was like, okay, you have to have a plan, you have to have a team. You be generous in teaching others the skill so they earn, you also earn, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Eventually, the amount that he wanted, he came, and then he asked me, do you think that you need an investor now? I like, no, it's okay, I can manage myself.
And then what happened was once he told us that about the you see he has to there's one thing that actually all of us we are afraid of doing, very afraid
Mm,
of doing, is writing down our debts.
Debts, listing down our
Listing down
debts.
our debts. I think everyone can agree with this because
yeah.
I was also the same. I mean, I've spoken to so many of my friends, and when I tell them write down your debts, they'll all tell me you are crazy.
Because it's scary to see,
Yes,
it's so scary to see.
Yeah.
but you can
Yeah.
put down the amount. You can put down, okay, house. I have some 200,000. You'll finish. That's it.
That's one thing will
One
kill
thing
you
only will
already.
kill you already. So like that. So what I did when Ilongo sir told me to do that. I did. I came back. I braved myself and I started writing. I started reading. By the time I end, I almost got a heart attack, but I somehow managed to go through lah. Because seeing
Okay.
the amount, I already got panic. Oh God, not this is what people don't write down the debts.
I didn't see the list till today. I never see. All the thing that I do, okay, this much, don't tell me. What I need to do is I need to work, okay, just work. I don't want to know.
So then what I did was they introduced me to a person called Joyce, okay,
Mm,
a very nice woman, and she sent me some how to manage your finance, a chart how to manage the finance part. But to be very honest, I'm not a computer guy. I mean, I'm not that IT kind of person. So
mm,
I will simplify that whole thing into a very general chart graph.
yeah.
And what I did was I wrote down all my debts and all the debtors that I have to pay, everything.
Yep.
And I sent this list to all the debtors that I had, all those that I borrowed the money from. So I sent
Yeah.
it to them. And I told them the schedule is right there. So I told them, okay, let's say I'm going to pay you from the first to the fifth. So I definitely pay you this amount. So that is how
Mm,
I start doing. I start paying out all my debts slowly. So in the year 2000, my 2020, my vision was to pay out my debts within that year. I have to complete that 40, close to 40,000 debts in a year.
in a year.
So I had to write down everything. So I write down and then I make sure every month I pay. But you see, it is very difficult for you to do that because when sometimes you see the amount is not sufficient, you want to take this amount and you want to pay a debt collector, but it's not enough. It's not enough for you to pay. I mean, for you to roll the next month and things like that. But somehow or other, what Mr. Langu told you, it will come. When you start to pay others, the money will come back to you because you are already paying them. So it will definitely come, it will generate back. But it happened. That's what happened.
Yep.
And by God's grace, we paid all our debts by the October 2020. I targeted until December, but I paid
Yeah.
it by October. I completed all my debts by October. Completely finished, no debts.
That it's for somebody who just heard the numbers, right? It may not make much sense. Like for me, oh, he paid 40,000 in 1 year. Oh, okay, okay. It seems very small, but when you look at it, it's like 4,000 ringgit per month average. Huh? That is how much you had to pay out to ensure you can settle your debts, which is a
Yes.
big deal. I don't think a lot of people can make this happen in a way. So good, congrats on making it happen.
Thank
But
you,
like
thank you.
if we were to summarize on like few things that you had to do to be able to switch, because a lot of people, even if they list down, they don't decide to actually start making those payments and all of that. So, what were the things that helped you to make that switch from who you were last time to who you are now?
Uh, um, what made me switch, or actually, is that circle that we made ourselves in. That means we disconnected from the circle that we were previously, and we
Yep.
connected into the circle called ET ideas. I think all of us are in that circle. Most of you here are from that circle. So we connected into this circle, which our thoughts, words, and actions were all aligned to our
Mm,
goals.
mm.
So that is how we that is how I could actually pay that. But of course, we all humans. When sometimes you will also go on the other part because your
Yep.
sub is already like concrete there, you know. And
Yep.
even after I have paid my debts, what happened was these investors came back. All these investors started coming back one by one, you know.
Automatically.
Yes, all started coming back because your sub will always attract them back, saying that okay, now you have extra what? You already pay your
Yeah.
debts what? You have extra
Yeah.
money what? Now, man,
Yeah.
now we can invest what? You know, that's how
Yeah.
you will think the circle will come back. So what I did, but you have to feed your sub. So what I did was I quickly went and invest into some of mutual funds and also some insurance. So so now I am a bit peace because like when if the thought comes, I know I'm going to invest. But okay, I got an investor, but it's a mutual fund and it's insurance, so I'm just paying it for that.
Because our programming is already like if you earlier the story of our parents, though
Yep.
they make money, they consistently go into trying something or investing something in a very wrong thing, right? So last
Yep.
time we are not aware of the programming. We
Yep.
keep doing the same thing and then start blaming, like, why this one happened to me,
Yes.
why this one happened to me. But you don't understand it is your programming actually, like attracting all these, right? So somehow when we settle the debts, now we are aware of our programming. So we know, okay, this is our parents' programming or like that. Okay, somehow this will definitely hit you. You
Yeah.
can't escape it if you are not aware. You will fall into the trap. So when the investors or the people who want us to invest came back again, so you realize that whenever you have that cash, these kind of things are coming because your programming is such. So you better pay on the good thing lah. As long
Yeah.
as you already tell yourself, it's like public mutual or insurance, you still have to pay monthly what. So
Yep.
it's already like a debt kind of thing lah. So it will
Yep.
keep quiet
So your
for
sub is already this
already
week.
like this is what we understand lah. I
Yep.
don't know whether it's the right thing or not, but to us, like, okay, how to make this person quiet, because we always address the sub as a person. So how to make this person quiet? Okay, you have to do this. So when you do this, okay, he's quiet. If you still earn and then you don't pay anywhere, the bigger picture will come. He will try to attract a bigger picture. We don't want to go into that lah. So it's
That's
lucky
amazing.
thing that we are aware of our programming. Now it's helping us, we are aware. And then sometimes when we face problem in a money matter or any other things, we are also looking back to our parents programming, how it happens,
Yep.
so we are very aware of our steps now. Okay,
Mm,
this is what we know, the examples, to me, right, personally, it is not only the good things from our parents and programming is with us. Normally, we are very proud. Yeah, I'm like my father, I'm like my mother, on the good thing. But
yeah.
also on the negative side, also many of us still carry the same programming as our parents. So you just need to be aware of it to make sure your life is easier. So we are
Yep.
also educating our kids also, because our programming also is such one.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
are also educating our kids, look, this is what it is. You've got to be very careful on, on this kind of circle. So
Yep.
it's easier
Yep.
for them to lead their life also. Yeah.
I love that. So it's like a lot of us, the first step is awareness, I think. And awareness is not just like, oh, it's happening to me, but also like look back and see when this has happened, how it has happened in our parents' lives, our lives. I'm sure even in our own life, we will do it a few times already. So awareness and have understanding that this is happening. And I liked how Pierre also mentioned about environment. So if you're already in a group of people who are all stuck in the money problem, you're not going to come out of it. You need to
Yes.
spend time with people who are out of it, and they are helping other people to come out of it. So which is what we did in terms of like going into ETIDs. We had that environment to help us, which is good. And also I liked how you said you're now making your kids aware of their programming so that they don't repeat this in the years to come,
Yes.
which is also very very important. And I also liked how you shared about even the paying back your debts, right? I think car loan, house loan, a lot of us follow the schedule because the bank said it, so we'll pay. But when it's our friends, our relatives who we borrowed money from, we tend to take it easy because like they made the money already, it's okay, they can help me out for a while, I can pay them back when I am okay to do, and all of that. Which is even like I know youngsters who are my age who are students who have the PTPTN loan, and they're like, okay, never mind, postpone. I can pay back when I have the money, but that never happens. They
Yeah.
postpone, so it goes on forever. So I like how Pierre actually went and told everyone that he owed money to, and said, I'm going to pay you back in this schedule, and actually made it happen. Which is when you set your mind to it, both of you actually managed to make it happen, which is very very nice. So thank you
That
guys.
is actually the help from Mr. Elongo and Barsalas, because they were our great mentors who really showed us the path, the right way to go. It's like it's a circle. When you don't do this, you don't get it. So you start doing, then you receive. So
Yep.
something which hit us a lot. Oh, that means we are not doing the right thing first. So
Yep.
we should set an example for the kids. So we start doing that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any last message to our audience today?
The only message that I want to give is don't go a wrong investment lah. That's all. We actually I won't say I mean when you invest and you don't get back the money, it is very very painful, and it is very difficult for us to go on. Sometimes some people they just you see, like for me, I was able to move on, but there
Yep.
are a lot of people who are not able to move on.
Yep.
So why do that and get stuck? So I think go on a better investment, or we talk to somebody who's related to it, and get some advice from people like Ilango sir and things like that.
Okay. Okay.
like
I
like
like.
for me, right, it's more on like, okay, if you are an entrepreneur, you need to learn to collaborate in like a team building, that kind of thing. Don't keep your resources to yourself. I don't think I see any progress when I kept the resources to myself. It
Yep.
doesn't grow. When we learn how to share and then build other people's life, the thing with us grow automatically. It's more on like, you help others, not, of course, you don't give them money, give them opportunity, you share, you collaborate. Now
Yep.
in precious 30 days, we have like 13 ladies who are in our team.
Teammates.
Yeah, they
Amazing.
are all previously like was working. Some of them were working, some of them were housewife, now happily earning with whatever. So many people used to question me like, how if these people leave your team, you're teaching them and things like that. For me, it's very simple. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You don't have to like worry about it so much.
Yep.
You just share the thing, like how much you are. Actually, our need as human is very simple. We just need a shelter, and you need food and things like that. But how big you want your shelter, how much food you want, it's individuality. So when
Yeah.
you live within your mean and share the balance of it, mostly very little our living. So
Yeah.
you share with others, they will grow, and eventually you also will grow. You don't have to think about yourself so much when you invest on people. That's
Beautiful.
my thing.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, guys. I personally I don't know if you guys are watching. Like I said, when I talked to them first time, I was so mind blown. Thank you so much for being so truthful and actually sharing your experiences, because I think this is how we can learn a lot. And I think you guys have a lot of fans in the comments. So I've been complimenting you. So I think to wrap up today's session, I think we spoke about the vicious cycle, how you can come out of it. Pierre and Kale actually run Precious 30 Days, who provide confinement care. So yes, Pierre does cook confinement meals and Kale does the confinement care. And they recently also launched this product called Zen Parenting, which is basically a web series about parenting. And one of the topics they actually talk about is getting your kids to learn about finances and all of that as well. So if you guys are parents or not parents, you want to understand your programming, right? Like how Kale and Pia actually shared about how their programming made them who they are today. If you want to understand this more, please do subscribe to Zen Parenting. I will put the Instagram handle on the banner there. It's at Zen_parenting. Please go and message them, find out how you can subscribe, watch the episodes, and understand how your programming happens. Or if you are a parent, figure out how you can give a better guidance to your kids so that they don't end up in the same vicious cycle as well, which is very, very important, I feel. So thank you so much, guys. See you soon. I will do a quick wrap up for today's session. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Madhura.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank
It
you.
was an honor. Thank you so much, guys. All right, so that was Money Matters episode 18. I loved it. This episode is so mind blowing. I cannot. It's so good. I love it so much. Okay, I'm very excited. That's why I'm blabbering right now. Please forgive me. Do drop in the comments what you learned from today. And I think Pia and Kale would definitely love to check it out to see how their story has impacted you, and put it down there in the comments so that you remember what you took away from today's session. Because all of us will have one thing that really click with us, and when we put it down in writing, it really sticks with us. So put it down in the comments so that we can see how you guys benefited from today's session. So we do this every Sunday. Every Sunday, 3 o'clock is Money Matters time. So book your timing, guys. Every Sunday, we have something mind-blowing coming up. Next Sunday, 4th of July. I don't know why Malaysians get so excited for 4th of July, but it's 4th of July, American Independence Day. And we have another Malaysian entrepreneur who's going to be coming up to share his experiences. We are featuring Calvin from Cofex Coffee. He's the executive director of Cofex Coffee. He's a very nice guy that I met back in 2017, and he has been a huge supporter of Ascendance. Basically, they do coffee. I drink his coffee quite obsessively. So do come and join us to find out how they managed to set up Cofex Coffee in Malaysia and how was his entrepreneurial journey. It was not like the first time he did it, he became successful. There were a lot of ups and downs, just like how Pierre and Kale were sharing. So we can learn from their experiences as well. How we are ensuring that you get the updates on our weekly sessions is basically we have this thing called weekly reminders for Money Matters. So you can actually subscribe to our weekly reminders. You will get the links automatically. You don't need to RSVP one by one. Every week, the link will be directly sent to your WhatsApp and email. So if you're interested in that, just quickly go to the I am putting the link to subscribe in the comments. Please do subscribe, and then we will update you guys on all the upcoming sessions. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Do leave us a review. Follow our social media. This is Simply Empowering social media. And you can also follow me on The Real Madhura, both Instagram and Facebook. And see you guys in the next session. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching, and please do like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Do share this episode with your friends and family. And if you like this episode, leave us a review on our Facebook page, facebook.com/simplyempowering. Money Matters is where we aim to provide valuable content to inspire and empower you on your money matters. Thank you once again for watching this episode, and see you guys at the next one.